Yeah, welcome to the show. It's Ringside Report MMA tonight. What's next for Conor McGregor? We're going to preview UFC Vegas 31, Thiago Moises versus Islam Makhachev, and Nick Diaz coming back to fight Robbie Lawler. Let's do it! That is actually happening. That's actually a fight. Nick Diaz, Robbie Lawler. The UFC's really doing that, guys. What's up, dudes? How you guys feeling?
Time.
How you feeling, Freddie?
Is it official?
Yeah, it's official. UFC 266. It's a 5-round co-main event going down September 25th. Official, like a referee with a whistle. It will be the co-main event to, what's the main event? Volkanovski, Ortega, and then, oh, damn, this is a big card. They got Volkanovski, Ortega, Valentina defending her title against Lauren Murphy, and then Nick Diaz, Robbie Lawler in a 5-rounder. Diaz brothers come back, they get 5 rounds.
Yep.
They last fought 17 years ago at UFC 47. They're going to be fighting at UFC 266.
And that's maybe
crazy,
the fight
man.
that made that got Nick Diaz known. Like, his knockout of Robbie Lawler was a beautiful one, and also he was trash talking. So the legend of Nick Diaz pretty much, like, maybe not got started there, but that was one of the first highlights of his career. And look, I'm happy for it. That's a great fight. Great fight for the fans. I'm just gonna say right away, I'm picking Robbie Lawler. Both guys, like, have been inactive, but Nick has been really inactive. Like, so I'm gonna go Robbie Lawler, probably winning this one, and I wouldn't be surprised he finishes Nick.
Nick has not fought since January 31st, 2015. He has not won an MMA fight since beating BJ Penn in October 2011. 2011 is the last time Nick Diaz won a fight. However, Robbie Lawler has not won since he beat Donald Cerrone in 2017. So it's not like these guys are super active and super successful recently, right? Robbie has lost 4 in a row now. His last fight was a decision loss to Neil Magny in August of 2020. So Robbie has been less active, and he also hasn't picked up a win in 4 years. For Nick, it's been like 10 years since he won a fight. So it'll be nearly 10 years between wins if Nick
That's the
is able to win.
fight on that card.
Oh, of course.
That's the fight that's going to be selling that card. They should be the main event.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
100%.
But Dave, when you look at it, the guy is 37 years old at this point, you know. But when you look at his overall record, he's 26-9. I mean, you know, you never know. Maybe ring rust is like set a long time ago, but he still stays in shape. He's very active. He does triathlons with his brothers. I mean, these guys are out there when it comes to like physical performance. But when it comes to the fighting scene, you're fighting Robbie Lawler, man. And we've seen some heavy fights with Robbie. Some fights that like you thought he won, but overall we saw fights with Robbie where they were just brutal. Even if he hasn't won since 2017, like you said, it doesn't make a difference. It's Robbie Lawler. I'm kind of with Freddie on this, but my heart wants to see Nick win. And I love Robbie. It's just that what would happen if Nick wins? It would be insane, man.
Less wear and tear on Nick than Robbie. I mean, Robbie became welterweight champion. He took some vicious beatings. He gave some vicious beatings, but he was in some fights, man, that were pretty damn rough. I don't know if he's ever been the same since that Rory McDonald fight. I don't know if Rory McDonald's ever been the same either. You know, that was one of the most brutal fights you will ever see. I don't think he's I mean, it's different. But Robbie,
Alcohol gives a big beating also, and Nick Diaz has been like on a party train for a couple of years right now. So I don't know. I got Robbie Lawler right now. I need to be convinced, and honestly, I'd be surprised I changed my mind. I got Robbie Lawler winning that one.
Robbie is 39 years old. Nick only 37.
39. Yeah, 37 exactly. Yeah.
I don't
was gonna say, back to
betting
what you were
odds.
saying.
I don't see betting odds for this fight. I would love to see betting odds for this one, but
yeah, they'll be coming up shortly, man. Like they have
I
to
like
see if
it's
this
probably
fight
going
is
to be a
actually gonna take
stand-up more because Robbie.
Here we go.
Robbie likes to trade.
Robbie minus 140. Nick plus 120. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a fun one. It makes sense. I think it's a perfect matchup because like right now, Nick Diaz. Let's be honest. being inactive for what, 6 years, no wins in almost 10 years. He needs like a marquee matchup against a guy that's not going to kill him, So that makes sense. I think it's a perfect matchup for him, and I'm happy to see him back.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it. I think it's a great matchup. This is the fight that I've been wanting to see for Nick Diaz for years. I feel like I've been on the show for years calling for this very fight, and it's finally happening again. So I'm pretty pumped. I'm kind of surprised that the UFC's actually doing it, but I am very excited. I think it's a great matchup for Nick, great matchup for Robbie, great fight for both of these guys at this stage in their careers. I don't think Robbie is going to get a more, marquee matchup than Nick Diaz right now. I mean, you kind of look at what Robbie's been doing. He fought Neil Magny in his last fight in a kind of uneventful type of deal. He got beat up by Kobe Covington before that, lost to Ben Askren before that, Rafael Dos Anjos. That the Dos Anjos fight was, a big name, and Askren.
But he's fighting high-level guys.
Yeah, and now he's fighting, to go from Neil Magny, who's in his prime or near his prime, still dangerous, doesn't make a lot of noise, isn't a high he's high level, but he's not high value. He's
Commodity.
not high visibility. He's not a celebrity like Nick. You go from fighting Neil Magny and losing, which is a shitty proposition for Robbie at this stage in his career, and then you turn around, you fight Nick Diaz. This is a great fight for Robbie, man. This is great for him, and it's a good comeback fight for Nick Diaz. They're not throwing him in with the Wolves. He's not fighting. I thought Nate got a shitty deal there when he had to fight Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards is a guy in his prime. He's not a big name. They made Leon Edwards off of Nate Diaz. That's not the case here. This is a fight where it's two legends fighting each other to settle old scores. They fought 17 years ago. Let's see it again. This works for both guys, so I'm happy with it. We got to talk about Conor McGregor.
You've been saying that forever, man.
What?
What?
What
What'd you say?
I said we got to talk about Conor,
I was
but
saying,
you wanted to say other things?
No, I was going to say, you're right. You've been saying this for Nick to get back in the ring forever. I mean, you were calling out Dana. You were it was supposed to happen time after time after time, and finally, 2021, here he comes. Boom.
It's a surprise.
You know what? It is a surprise, but it's been such a crazy year with COVID and the UFC and all the crazy shit that's been going on as far as last Saturday with Conor. It's nice to see Nick come back, and you know what? I hope, like I said, deep down inside, I hope he wins because it'll be exciting, man. Just to see the Diaz brothers back in there and supercharged. And you know what? Robbie Lawler, man, he's coming to the end of his career, let's be honest. But again, Nick, when you think about it, he's 37 years old, man. 37 years old. I don't know. That's gonna be a fight that I won't put on my parlay, I can assure you.
All right. Well, we'll see if we can keep you to that in September when we preview this fight, AJ. We'll see what AJ's parlay is like tonight. We'll try and get you some winners tonight when we preview the UFC Vegas card coming up a little later on. Angelo dropping the super chat. What's up, Angelo?
Angelo!
Super chat leader of the night once again. Angelo won a big super chat battle with Harold last night. It was wild. Angelo was kicking ass, doing the damn thing. Jason Pete says if Nick wins versus Condit or something, I mean, yeah, that'd be cool, right? If Nick wins, it opens things up. If Nick wins, who knows? Who knows? Shout out to Franco. Shout out to Brooklyn Lizard. Of course, Jason Pete, our man out in Mexico. Lauren Cronish, Bob Burgers. Jason Pete, member of the team. Be like Jason, join the team. Be like Jason and Angelo, join the channel. Become a member of the Ringside Report team. Click that join button
let me give a shout out.
The YouTube video. Let me finish the plug before you give your shout-outs, motherfucker.
I want to give a shout-out to my brother-in-law, Alberto, in London, England, man. Yeah, Del Rio. Hey,
Alberto
Mr. Wonderful passed away.
Is your brother-in-law?
What? You didn't know that?
I don't think that's
so.
True.
Anyways,
all right.
Listen, I was gonna say, he's in London, England, man. Power to you. You got to see Italy win, man. That's awesome. He's still there, man. COVID. But anyways, yeah.
Rest in peace.
Mr. Wonderful passed away. I couldn't believe it. I even knew who he was.
I was saying rest in peace to Alberto. I thought he died of COVID. Anyways.
No, take it easy there, Dave. What the hell, man?
Sorry. I thought you said COVID. He's still there. He's never coming back type of thing. I don't know. Sorry, buddy.
Well, I mean.
We love you, Alberto.
Jesus, man. My sister's going to flip out.
Del Rio! He's still alive, too. You remember that guy? He was good.
Not Mr.
Who was
Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful?
Paul Orndorff.
Dave's too young to appreciate Mr. Wonderful, but I
Yeah.
appreciated Mr. Wonderful. He was a great wrestler.
Yeah, he was great. I didn't. Yeah, you are right though. I am too young. I don't really know that much about Mr. Wonderful. He's pretty cool though.
Well,
He's wonderfully good.
he was
was jacked.
wrestling when I started watching wrestling, so I was like, I'm a little bit older than you, so I'm not even sure you were born when Mr. Wonderful had his better years.
I don't think I was. I do not think that I was. Rest in peace to Paul Orndorff. Guys, rest in peace to Conor McGregor's MMA career. All right? I also want to give a rest in peace
Or his ankle.
to Conor's career as a top flight fighter in the UFC. Let's take a look at Conor McGregor from his Instagram. First of all, you know what? Forget Conor's Instagram and his like, hey guys, thank you for being my fans. Before we get to that, let's get to some disgusting remarks made by Conor McGregor inside the octagon after the fight. Did you guys see Conor McGregor threatening Dustin Poirier and his family with death after the fight? Did you see that? Because if you didn't, let me show you. Here's a clip that was posted to Twitter from a guy. Here we go. Let's see. Do I have it? Here we go. There we go. Give me a little volume on this, baby. Oh, that didn't work. Did it work? It didn't work. Let's try again. There we go. Shut up, AJ. Fucking AJ. Here we go. Volume.
99.
All right. In your sleep, you're getting it. You hear that? Listen. It's not over. You hear that? You see that? In your sleep, you're getting it. So it's a little bit hard to hear there, but you can obviously make out. In your sleep, you're getting it. You know, watch what you say. He's doing stuff like this. Dustin was saying that this is the kind of stuff that Conor was saying after the fight, threatening his life with, you know, whatever, gun violence, you know, and his family, all sorts of stuff. He tweeted out a picture of Dustin Poirier and his daughter and wrote Gonzo and then deleted the tweet and deleted all that shit. Like, Conor went completely nuts after the fight. And it just, you know, it's a guy who can't win the fight. So he's like, I got to scare this guy some other way because I can't scare him in a physical way. He's got my number, so I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to kill you. You know, I hang out with those Irish gangsters in Ireland. Those guys are going to come get you, Dustin Poirier. Like, Conor's just grasping at this point because he's a desperate, beaten man. Desperation and just obliteration is what happened to him. 10-8 on 2 judges' scorecards. 1 judge scoring it a 10-9. TKO after 5 minutes. His ankle exploded. You could say it happened before. Conor's camp is saying, oh, the injury happened before. We had stress fractures in the leg. So why'd you fight, motherfucker? Why did you fight? Okay? And, you know, Dustin. Yeah. And Dustin is claiming, you could delay that shit if you want to. You're Conor McGregor. It's your fucking game, right? And Dustin is saying,
he made 190 million last year.
Yeah, he can do whatever the hell he wants. Dustin is saying that the injury happened in the fight. Some people are saying, well, Conor kicked him in the elbow, and that's when he hurt his thing. And some people are saying that Conor kicked him in the leg, and Dustin checked it, and that's where he hurt his ankle. Whatever happened, at the end of the night, it's a loss for Conor McGregor, a second straight loss to Dustin Poirier, second straight TKO loss. His body failed him in the cage. You come in there with what you have, your tools, your weapons. His weapons failed him on the night, and he can't take it. He can't take it, so he's threatening with other weapons that won't fail him, maybe. But it's all bullshit. We know it's bullshit. Number one bullshit. That's what this guy is. He's number one bullshit. And Conor McGregor, he showed his hand. He classless, and he exposed himself. He exposed how desperate he is, how lost he is, and where he is in this sport. and what he is to this sport right now. He's a sideshow attraction. And that's what I was telling you before the fight, and I'm even more convinced of it now. Dustin Poirier destroys Conor McGregor like I told you he was going to do. Just an obliteration of Conor. A broken, beaten man with nowhere left to turn. AJ, your defense of Conor?
Go defend him.
If the glove don't fit, you'll quit. Listen, I'm going to tell you
He was
something.
also
You know what
guilty.
This reminds me of? Yeah, well, sort of. But I'm going to tell you something. Well, if OJ is listening, because I know he listens, we need you
move
on.
on.
The show.
No, we don't. You're
listen,
banned.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you.
Tell me one
Well,
thing.
I sent him an email already.
Well, too
But
bad.
I'm going to tell you something. You know what this fight reminds me of? It reminds me of the Blair Witch Project. You remember that, Dave? The Blair Witch Project, or are you too young for that? That is exactly what it comes down to. We don't know what the fuck happened at the end of that film, and exactly what happened at the end of this fight. He broke his ankle, and
we know exactly what happened.
Ankle. No, we broke his ankle, but we don't know what's going to happen. If that didn't happen, and it went to the second, we still have that question mark. Yeah, Poirier won the first round. You know, I watched that fight over and over again. I can assure you, Poirier won that round. But you know what? Everybody's talking about Conor as a one-trick pony and all this bullshit, and it gets me so mad. The guy doesn't have years like that because he's a one-trick pony. And in fact, on his back, he did very, very well, considering, you know, he threw elbows, he threw up kicks, he was doing what he needed to do. He went for a guillotine. No one-trick pony's going to go with a guillotine. You know what? Give him some credit.
No, let's talk about that guillotine. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what happened in the fight. Let's talk about what actually happens in the fight. Dustin Poirier starts beating the shit out of Conor, punching his face off, and Conor clinches up. Conor clinched him. Dustin pushes in for the takedown. Conor, knowing he's fucked, knowing he's about to get taken down, goes for a desperation front headlock to try and maybe get a guillotine that he knows isn't coming to him. Conor was in desperation mode early in that fight. Conor McGregor clinched up Poirier to initiate the clinch against the fence, which led to Poirier's takedown attempt, which led to Conor's weak-ass guillotine attempt that Poirier easily escaped. So don't go telling me that Conor's this fucking jiu-jitsu Ryan Hall, fucking Marcelo Garcia guillotine fucking ace here coming in with this fucking slick guillotine that he was going to pull off. He was nowhere near that guillotine. He only got to that position because of desperation, because he was losing the boxing match, which is what he's supposed to fucking win. And he did not win the boxing match. He lost the boxing match. He lost the MMA fight, and his fucking leg gave out on him. That's the story of the fight. 10-8 on two judges' scorecards. 10-8. So don't go telling me no bullshit about his jiu-jitsu game because, yeah, he's got cauliflower ears. But who fucking doesn't in the UFC? He's got a purple belt or a brown belt or whatever. Sure, he's fine. He's a great fighter. I love Conor McGregor as much as the next man. But he got beat to shit in that fight. And he clinched up because he was in trouble.
Did you see his face? Where was his face beat to shit? Just for his ear that cut like a fucking little prick, that little bit of blood came out.
No.
He looks pretty good. And when you get to the clip of 6 minutes, you're going to see how good he looks after surgery. You know what? Conor, you know what? He didn't fuck up. His ankle fucked up. Conor beat Conor, in my opinion. And you know what? We'll never know. We'll never know what would happen if it went to the second, third. We've seen that, and I said it on Thursday's show, or on Saturday's show, in fact. Let's remember Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen. It's never over till the fat lady sings. I don't know if you can say that if it's politically correct, but I don't give a fuck. But it is the same thing because we'll never know what can happen. Anything's possible, right? And Conor, like, if there's one thing with Conor that we know, he can come back from, like,
that, AJ.
Anything is possible. Here we go.
So
come on, Conor.
On a stretcher he was.
Can I say something here?
Stand up.
Between fights 2 and 3, who has evolved more was clearly Dustin Poirier. I mean, Conor had a good first round in the second fight. I gave him that round, but in the third fight, man, Conor was losing from the beginning. So don't give me this Conor was
look how we started.
Doing good.
Listen,
or Conor
he came out firing.
If anything, Poirier looked better than he did in his last fight, I'm gonna say. And as far as what Conor did after the fight, I'm gonna give him sort of a pass that maybe it's emotions and he's not the classiest guy out there, but the fight, man, this was all Poirier. And if anything, man, we're arguing for nothing here because Dana's going to give him a fourth match as soon as Conor's ready,
Yep.
and they're both going to make a lot of money. But I'll tell you what, from here to the next fight, who you think is going to be training seriously? Is it going to be Conor who has to rehab, or is it going to be Dustin Poirier that's fighting for a championship soon? Like, Dustin Poirier right now is taking his career to the elite level. I'm not convinced that Conor does that.
Super chat. I agree with you 110%, Fred. I think you're 100% right. I think that Dana White will definitely give Conor the rematch with Dustin Poirier as soon as Conor is ready to take that fight. I think as soon as Conor's rehab is done and he can train and he's back at it in a year or whatever, he'll fight Dustin Poirier no matter what.
Coach.
Even if Dustin Poirier beats Charles Oliveira, which is a fight likely to happen end of this year, early next, for the UFC lightweight title, even if Dustin beats him, which I think he will, I think Dustin beats Charles and becomes champion, I think Conor still gets a title shot despite the fact that he hasn't won a fight since beating Donald Cerrone a couple of years ago. Like, that's just what it is because he's Conor McGregor. And Dana White at the post-fight press conference said basically that. He was not satisfied with the outcome. He wanted to see it actually finished. He's disappointed that Conor went down the way he went down. The problem is, if you're looking at this objectively, you could see the writing on the wall for Conor McGregor. You don't get better. You don't get better. You don't have a second prime. I saw Khabib Nurmagomedov get interviewed this week by ESPN. It was really good, and Khabib is for sure retired. He is absolutely done. And he said it. You don't have two primes. You have one prime.
True.
You go up, you have your peak, and then once you hit your peak, you got to maintain, and you're on your way down. Conor's on his way down, and you don't get better at 33, 34 years of age, whatever he's going to be when he comes back, after a broken leg and surgery and a titanium thing in his leg. That doesn't make you better. Conor's trying to sell it like it does. Conor's trying to sell it like, he would have come back in the second round and beat Dustin. Conor's team, Conor's coach is saying, second round would have been interesting. Conor's coach said, I liked what I saw in the first round. Conor was doing well, and in the second round it was going to be good, and Conor's saying basically the same thing. Michael Bisping came out and said, fire your coach. If your coach is watching you lose a 10-8 round and he thinks it's good, fire him.
You know what, Bisping? You talk too much, man, because
he's
you know
right.
What? George St. Pierre.
He's right.
George came out as a second peak. He came in after 30, and he clocked Bisping and took the title. So if you want to look at it this way, George is the proof that you can come back.
He did fight at the
win a championship.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about Bisping. We're not talking about. Yeah, you can talk about whatever you want because you want to change the subject because you know you're wrong, AJ. You know that Conor is absolutely done. The primetime Conor is over. He can fight Nate Diaz and maybe beat him, but the time of Conor McGregor fighting the elite of the division, the Gaethjes, the Oliveras, the Poiriers, any guy like that. Put Max Holloway in front of Conor McGregor today at 155 pounds. Max Holloway's beaten that ass. Conor's time is done. He's not elite anymore. It's over. And it's never going to happen again. And you could want it to happen, and Conor could, sell it to you because he's making money. He's a good salesman. He's good at tricking people. He's good at fooling the marks. And you could be a mark for Conor all you want, but I'm telling you the reality. The reality is it's over.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I said it last week on Saturday's show. I think the best thing that could have ever happened to Conor was for Conor to end a fight like it did. Yeah, in like a really gross way, but it was the best thing because you said it right. What's going to happen is that Dustin's going to fight Charles. He's going to take the belt. It's going to take Conor to probably a year to recover, but Conor will be back. And like we said, and you called me and you said, "Fuck, Dana is thinking exactly like you." He's going to give him that fourth fight. Why? Because it brings in pay-per-view sales, blockbusters. The guy, Conor, is on every major blockbuster hit in the history of combat sports. And he did it again. And it's going to even bring more money when they hit that fourth fight, which has never happened before, 4 fights. Conor's going to come back. Win or lose, Conor brings in the draw. But what I'm saying is that, look, anything could have happened. If that ankle break didn't happen, and if it's true that he had stress fractures on his ankle, and the reason that he went down on the ground was because, according to Conor, that's what he was doing in his training camp because he had a problem with his ankle. So there could have been that shit. And man, no matter how much money Conor has, when you make a contract with the UFC and it's at 264, big pay-per-view, he has to fight. If the leg doesn't break in training camp, they're going to pass it through. They hope. They're crossing their fingers that those stress factors don't open up. Unfortunately, it did. It was a weird way to go. And you know what? You got to give Conor some toughness because he didn't just roll over. He kept taking those punches, and he wasn't like tapping out, and he was just going till the end of that round, and he did. So for toughness, yes. Do I agree exactly what he did after? Absolutely not. But again, Poirier's wife did pull the finger at him when he was on the floor, so I think that made like the bells like go through the roof. So just saying, there's like two sides of the story as well.
Super chat. Say what you want, AJ. Say what you want about Conor and all that stuff. And you know what? All these guys can fight each other. You know, I mean, I'm looking at the division right now, and I see Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje. Charles Oliveira is a champion. Poirier is ranked 1. Gaethje's ranked 2. Beneil Dariush is ranked 3. Michael Chandler is ranked 4. Tony Ferguson is ranked 5th. Rafael Dos Anjos is ranked 6th. Conor McGregor is ranked 7th. Dan Hooker is ranked 8th. Islam Makhachev, who fights this weekend, is ranked 9th. And Gregor Gillespie is ranked 10th. But I'm going to tell you, I think Islam Makhachev beats champion through 8. And he's not going to get the shot because of number one bullshit fights like Conor McGregor, because of names, because of bullshit. But Islam Makhachev is the real deal. And if it's not Islam Makhachev, it's Damir Ismagulagov. All right? That's a name we haven't said on the show before. But this guy, this is a bad motherfucker from Russia. This guy's undefeated in the UFC. He's 20-1 as a professional. He's won 15 straight. He just beat a bunch of guys, Rafael Alves in his last fight. This guy is a savage. And if Damir Ismagulagov, see, nobody knows this guy. But he could probably beat the whole lot of them. And that's the problem with the UFC. It's money over the real shit. Give me the real fighters. Give me the number one fighters. Khabib was the champion as soon as he walked into the UFC. It just took him a long time to get that belt. Nobody was touching him. Khabib beats Rafael Dos Anjos. Rafael goes on Khabib smashed him. Tossed him around the octagon. Easy peasy for Khabib. Dos Anjos won like 3 in a row. Fights for the belt. Becomes champion. All of a sudden you're like, wait a second, but what about this Khabib guy? He just fucked that guy up. Why isn't he champion? It's because the UFC is all politics and money and bullshit. And Conor McGregor, you know, he's going to create that logjam. Poirier is getting the shot because he's Poirier and he's a name. And it takes a while to build a name at 155 pounds.
It.
Yeah, of course. He earned it by beating
You're
Conor.
You're dismissing them.
No. I'm
Charles
just saying.
Oliveira's a great champion.
Yes, Fred. But
Islam Makhachev has defeated nobody.
No, Drew
you
Dober,
know as
man.
well as I do.
Dober, man.
You know as well as I do that these guys are entering their prime. The Islams, the Ismagulagovs, these guys are entering their primes and they're about to become the best. And these guys like Oliveira and Poirier, they've been fighting for a long time, so they've developed a name, but they're exiting their primes. It's not like Charles Oliveira is not champion of this division like Khabib was champion of the division. You don't see Charles Oliveira as an unbeatable force because you've seen him beat.
Of course not, but he earned his title, man. I mean, he's a champion, just like Robbie Lawler was a champion, like Tyron Woodley was a champion. I mean, they can't all be GSP, man.
But we reward guys for sticking around rather than being the best sometimes. Or their name.
And you know what, Dave? Look, I don't agree with you often, but I'm going to tell you one thing. What I do agree with is that you're right about Islam. Back in UFC 242, when Khabib was on that card fighting Dustin Poirier for the interim, if you remember the post-conference, Khabib took his belt and he put it in front of Islam and he says, this is the future champion. You know what I'm saying? It's possible that Khabib already knew that he was leaving the UFC at that point.
Yeah.
But he said, this guy's going to be the future champion and put the belt in front of him, in front of his dad. And I agree with Dave on this. Islam is ranked 9 by the UFC. By the ESPN, he's ranked number 8. You know, Conor was 5th up to last Saturday. Now he's down to 7th. But I'm telling you, you're right. Islam is coming. The storm is coming. It's just a matter of time. He's going to be the champion. If it doesn't happen, it probably won't happen in 2021. You never know. But by 2022, we're going to see another Dagestani champion. And I'm telling you, Khabib's in his corner. And I agree with Dave on this. This guy is the storm, and he's coming, man. He is dangerous at all levels.
He's good.
No, he's not good.
Great.
He's great.
I'm just saying Oliveira earned his title, even though, like, I mean, of course nobody's going to follow in the footsteps of Khabib and be a champion that people are going to regard. I don't like the word as legit, but he is a legit champion. He earned his title. And Dustin Poirier right now, he's on a great streak, man. He lost to Khabib, but what other losses does he have recently, man? I mean, he's defeated a lot of people, and he's evolving. So, yeah, I think they both earned their titles. And you don't, like, Islam, I love him, but, like, can he fight somebody real before he gets a title shot? Like, he's going to get there. Let's give him his time,
you don't think
man.
Drew Dober was real?
It's
Come
tough.
on, Freddie.
No. But, I mean, Fred's talking about a big name, and it's tough to get up in those big names because the big names only want to fight each other, and the guys in the top 10, and it's kind of a, little club there until you kind of break through. And Islam is, the UFC's got to give you a push. The UFC's got to kind of push you on your way. I mean, you look at Islam Makhachev, he's fighting Thiago Moises in this main event, and a guy I just mentioned, Damir Ismagulagov, who doesn't have the name that Islam Makhachev has because he doesn't train with Team Khabib, but this guy was an M1 world champion. This guy is legit as all hell. He already beat Thiago Moises. Ismagulagov beat Thiago Moises like 3 fights ago. And then he beat this other guy, Rafael Alves. Like, Ismagulagov is under the radar and nobody is paying attention. Meanwhile, this guy's a beast, and he might be the next champion, but it might take forever for him to get there. I'm telling you guys, we're going to start talking about, I just want to start talking about these guys that are out there that are in the UFC that could probably beat your favorite champion. When I talk about Magomed Ankalaevs, the Yuri Prochazkas, Damir Ismagulagovs, I want to tell you about these guys before they show up in the big conversations and the big fights in the UFC. Khabib was one of these guys. I remember when Khabib fought Kamal Shalarus in his first UFC fight. I was blown away. Kamal Shalarus is a badass Iranian wrestler. Khabib tossed this guy around. I said, gee, this guy is fucking serious. Remember when he came out, he said if Sambo was easy, it would be called jiu-jitsu. And I was like, this guy is fucking badass. Khabib is crazy, man. I remember Khabib from the old days when Khabib was just making his way. And now we got to pay attention to these new Khabibs. The Damirs, the Islams.
There's so many of them, man.
That's right.
Look, let's take a look at the fights in Abu Dhabi. When we were looking at Khabib's team, it was like literally all of them. Dagestan's best coming into Abu Dhabi, fighting on the same card. I think, wasn't it Corinne that was fighting on that Laframboise?
Possibly, yeah.
Man, oh man, holy smokes. All those fighters from Dagestan cornered by Khabib. I'm like, holy shit, man. If these guys get into the UFC or Bellator or like one, wherever they go, man,
they're on the way.
These guys are going to be on the top 3. These guys are dangerous, man. There's so many names that I was like, holy shit, what do they feed them in Dagestan? Whatever it is, you want to go to Dagestan to learn how to wrestle because these guys will fuck you up. Khabib,
it makes sense,
we always
though.
Said he's... Listen, they're fighting bears at 7 years old, man.
Look,
come on.
It's a matter of time.
Ridiculous.
It's a matter of time that Russia takes over MMA. Because you look at MMA, and what is the most powerful martial art in MMA? What is the most dominant martial art that seems to control the fights? Wrestling. Right? You're a really good wrestler. You can dominate in the UFC. Who's got the best wrestlers? Russia. I mean, it's mathematics.
Dagestan right now,
simple.
if you want to,
but you know what I mean? Like that region, all of Russia, Eastern Europe, they make good, Kazakhstan, all those places, man, Georgia, they make good fucking wrestlers out there. It's no wonder they're starting to come up through the UFC and beat everybody's ass. Like, hey, wrestling is what wins in MMA a lot of times. You got to have everything else, but MMA, wrestling really helps. You get that takedown, you get on top, you could win these rounds. So, not surprised that these guys from out there are winning. I just want to give a shout-out to the Super Chatters. Angelo dropping a Super Chat. He says, Conor's done. Patrick C. Hamilton dropping a Super Chat as well. He says, no interest in another Conor fight. Reminds me of BJ Penn at the end. Wow. And that's a big statement. That's a big one. Patrick C. Hamilton, by the way, is the Super Chat leader of the night right now. Thank you, Patrick.
Nice.
Thank you, Patrick.
Listen,
and Jason says not just wrestlers who can grapple. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrestlers who can grapple. They can fucking move because they got the Sambo out there, They got a lot of things going for them in Russia.
But listen, Dave, I was just about to say, Jason, I was just about to say this because when you look at a guy like Khabib, his wrestling is like elite, man. Like he tosses around guys like in their 250-pound range like it's nothing. But the thing with Khabib is he's also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So if you're going to come down to a guy like that who has the elite wrestling and he's a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, you know what? And his striking has gotten so much better over his career. Like if you look at Khabib in the beginning, his boxing wasn't the greatest. But if you look at Khabib when he retired, his boxing improved. It was ridiculous. But you know what?
His finishing as well.
I mean, his jiu-jitsu
improved.
Yeah.
His jiu-jitsu improved as he got on. He started finishing more fights. He was a lot quicker to finish. His passing was a lot slicker. Like Khabib just got better, which, you know, that's why it's disappointing that he left when he did, because it seemed like the version of Khabib that we saw in his last fight was the best version of Khabib, which may have been the best mixed martial artist to ever live. So it's too bad that we didn't get to see more of that guy, because that guy seemed unstoppable, and it would have been nice to see him kind of go on and do his thing. But instead we have Conor. We don't get Khabib, we get Conor. No, we don't. Khabib retired.
No, but the beautiful thing about I know he retired, but the beautiful thing about Khabib is that we get to see him developing like the future talent. And you know what? If you look at like mixed martial arts today, some of these kids, man, that are coming in at 19, 20 years old, I mean, they've got like 10, 12 years of experience. And some of it is MMA experience, which is unheard of. Like the next breed of fighters that are coming up, it's ridiculous, man. And that's the thing with Khabib.
How many years are we going to allow you to use that one? Because, I mean, I feel like you always rehash that one there. Well,
yeah.
That the next generation is going to be incredible because, like, I mean, in 5 years, are you still going to be allowed to use it? Because, I mean, we'll have, like, 5 years at least of, high-level young people in MMA.
I know.
Very true.
And I feel we've already had, like, 10 years of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not the same like today, dude. Look at the amount of people that are able to travel around the world to get to the best camps.
It'll never be the
do that
same.
10 years ago. Come on, let's be honest. Some of these UFC fighters were working second jobs and third jobs.
Yeah. Well,
let's be honest. Nowadays, no, but Dave, I was gonna say is nowadays, as a fighter that's up and coming at 16 years old, 17 years old, you have sponsors that are gonna give you money, and we know that for a fact, that will be able to send you to like Thailand to fight Muay Thai, Brazil to get jiu-jitsu.
Let me give you my example, okay? When Rory McDonald started, that's what we were saying about Rory McDonald. Oh, here's this kid that grew up in MMA. Well, I mean, Rory McDonald's pretty old right now. He's not old, but I mean, he's not a kid no more. So, you know, like that story of like this new generation of kids, man, it's been overplayed. Like, of course, you know, they're going to be better from generation.
The sport always evolves, but all sports evolve, AJ. Sports always evolve. All the players get better in every generation.
No,
it just happens. Okay, let's get to Conor before AJ goes on another tirade about who knows whatever the fuck, okay? Conor McGregor talked this week. He did an Instagram thing. Here's his video. Let's talk over Conor and talk about Conor. Angelo just dropped a super chat. Thank you, Angelo. What did he say? Angelo says...
What's up, guys?
Shut up, Conor. Angelo says, can't imagine there being another Khabib ever. Yeah, you're probably right. I think Islam and all these guys, like, you know, they're in Khabib's team, but they're not Khabib. I think people are mistaking them for, oh, yeah, well, they do the same style, same thing. No, Khabib was a unique athlete. I agree with Angelo. I think a lot of guys from that region, though, will have a lot of success in the UFC because of their style and because of their training and because of their techniques. But, yeah, I think Khabib was probably unique in being undefeated and being just this unstoppable force. No, AJ, we're not going to let you comment on that. We're going to move on. Okay?
19-1. Let's go, Conor.
What's 19-1?
Islam, man. He's 19-1 in his career. Okay. If he didn't have that one loss, we probably would be saying something.
You would be saying something. You're always saying something.
Come on, Conor.
What's up, guys?
Speak to me. What's up, Conor?
Just after getting out of the hospital.
Where are you?
Getting settled into my apartment. I'm going to be here for a while. It's close to the doctors. And I have one of these things to get around on.
He's in California.
Elevated.
He's in California. He's driving one of those scooters that Verdun teenagers drive.
I love
Costanza.
Yeah.
Keep a positive mindset.
Look how happy he is on the scooter.
Okay, we go this way.
He's really happy to be on this thing. He's like, just having a good time.
I had a couple of ups and downs the last couple of days. I had a great birthday yesterday.
Tell me
I
about
appreciate all the birthday messages all you guys sent me. Thanks so much for that. You know, I came out of surgery. I was feeling, you know, very euphoric. The job was done. It was a great job that was done on it. And I was like, yes, I've got this. It's going to be easy. I'm going to do this, no problem. And then I hit a wall. Then I was like, you know, I'm in a bit of pain. I'm in a lot of pain. My mobility is, you know, I'm going to be like this for a while. It's going to take, it's not going to be a few days or even a few weeks. It's going to be a bit of time. So I kind of went into a little rut after that. But yeah, now I know there's going to be ups and downs on this journey that I'm going to be on, and I'm aware of them now, and I'm just a bit more happy, a bit more accepting of it, and, you know, motivated to keep going. Like I said, we got out of the hospital on my birthday, got some fresh air. This is actually the first bit of fresh air I've got.
This is for you, AJ. This is for the Conor fans, the drum up support.
Since I went into the surgery room, so I'm just gonna breathe this lovely Cali air in. Touch base with the doctors again today and just keep in touch. We're gonna bring the family out in a couple of days to see me kids again.
How long has it been since he's seen his kids? I mean, he
Probably
left his kids in Ireland. He went to train in the States for his whole camp. He spent his birthday. They still haven't come out to California. I guess he planned to go back to Ireland, but now he's got to stay in California and rehab his shit. Good God. I mean, you know, they must have a team of nannies helping take care of all that shit, but, like, he's living the good life still. You could tell how he's still living it up. Like, he lost, he got his leg broken, but, like, yeah, Angelo doesn't believe he's motivated to come back, and I don't either. Look at him.
Keep the head sharp, you know. I've got this. I've got a great team behind me. I want to thank all my team, you know, from me coaches, me training partners, me family, me friends, just everyone that's been supporting me, all my business partners. You know, of course, all the medical staff. I'm just extremely grateful for every single one of you.
That's you, AJ. He's grateful for you.
And I'm motivated to go and do this, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to come back. The leg is better than ever. I was injured going into the fight. People are asking me, when was the leg?
He just said the leg is better than ever. He can't walk. How is his leg better than ever?
He's got a hockey stick.
At what point did the leg break? Ask Dana White, ask the UFC, ask Dr. Davidson, the head doctor of the UFC. They knew I had stress fractures in my leg going into that cage. There was debate about pulling the thing out because I was sparring with no shin pads, and I kicked the knee a few times. So I had multiple stress fractures in the shin bone above the ankle. And then I have trouble with the ankle anyway, do you know what I mean, throughout the year.
Dr. AJ, what's a stress fracture?
Well, pretty much it's like the wear and tear over time. And the thing, honestly, it really does happen. It happens a lot to, like, runners that run for many, many years where they get, like, shin splints and whatnot, hip fractures and whatnot. That's the problem. The guy is 33 years old, well, 32, 33, and he already has, like, stress fractures and whatnot. That's not a good sign. That means that they're going to have to do, like, serious studies on bone density and whatnot. But
Dr. AJ,
Angelo's got a point.
Thank you, medical Dr. AJ. Let's hear Conor.
Come on, Conor, you can do it.
So
AJ is not a medical doctor.
And I also was wrapping my ankle. I was wrapping my ankle every training session. You know, I even done a lot of training sessions where when the ankle was sore, I still wouldn't stop training. I used to just train on my back. And that's how I developed those ground and pound shots from the back. That's why Dustin backed away. Exactly. When he was on top of me and I was landing the up kicks and the elbows and all. It's a horrible place to be in.
He backed away because Conor, from his back, was grabbing inside the glove of Dustin and pulling him in for those up kicks. It is illegal to do what Conor did. Dustin was backing away to tell the ref that Conor was cheating in the fight.
When you're against someone like me, you can't land. It takes so much effort to try and land shots from your top position. And while you're trying to do that and you're losing your energy, you're getting lumped over by downward elbows and vicious up kicks. And it was a skill I developed because I had the damaged leg and I had to adjust my training. So, you know, now I'm essentially after getting exactly what I needed to get there.
Pause it.
I
Dave, pause
needed to get.
You say pause it?
Yeah, you know what? It kills me every time I saw this like not too long ago, and it just kills me. I mean, the funniest thing about all this is that he's on like this little scooter with his leg up in the air, and he's driving through traffic, and it's fucking funny, man. The funniest thing would have been if he got into an accident. Then we would have never heard the end of it.
Broke the
but
other
play the
leg.
rest, dude. It's classic. I'm telling you, the guy's nuts.
On my leg. I needed to get treatment on the ankle, and I needed to get treatment on the shin bone. And I would have never committed to going under the knife unless something like this has happened. So something like this has happened. I'm at the going in, I'm at the getting exactly what I needed. And what I needed was a titanium shin bone. So now I've got a titanium rod going down the knee, from the knee to my ankle. And the doctor said it's unbreakable. So once I build back, first of all, manage the incision, the cut, make sure it doesn't get infected, keep the health on it, keep building back that way. Then I'll start playing with the balance, learning how to stand on it again, learning how to balance on the single leg again. Then I'll build the strength, and then I've got an unbreakable titanium leg. I was talking to my physical therapist.
Hold on. He thinks the titanium leg makes him stronger. You remember when Lex Luger, they said he had like a titanium plate in his
exactly
arm?
what came to mind.
Fred, you remember that? Lex Luger was like, I got a titanium plate in my arm. So he'd clothesline people and they would like go unconscious. Is that what's going to happen when Conor kicks people in the head that just die because he's got titanium legs? I don't think it makes you stronger. I think, I guess it's there, but I don't think it's better than, your bones.
But let's think about this. Today is Thursday. This shit happened this morning. His leg snapped on Saturday. You gotta give the guy some credit because he's completely like tough, crazy. Here he is on a Thursday morning on a scooter when his leg snapped on Saturday.
Yeah, he's not walking on it.
If that happened to me, you would still be coming to the hospital and visiting me because I'd still be unconscious and putting as much like fucking drugs in me as possible. That's crazy.
He's seeing private doctors in California. And if you give him a second, you can see that he doesn't have the same doctors and medical care that somebody like you or me might have. His physical therapist, he's about to tell you who else his physical therapist sees in California.
Who was with Arnold Schwarzenegger, his other half. And I was saying,
okay, you hear that?
And then I've got an unbreakable titanium leg.
Listen.
I was talking to my physical therapist, Heather, who was with Arnold Schwarzenegger, his other half. And I was saying, I'm like Arnie in Terminator 2. You know what I mean? So I'm cruising around the Cali streets.
Yeah.
Getting a bit of fresh air.
You are like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2. You're a fucking actor.
Oh, man.
You're a celebrity.
Dude, he's insane.
And just keeping the head sharp. So I just want to get on and give you a little update. I want to thank you all so much for the messages of support. I appreciate every single one of you. And, let's do it. I've also got the Title Sport. I'm very happy with the Title Sport recovery spray.
Selling shit.
That's going to have me back here as well. It's going to keep the swelling down. Once the cut heals and I can put the title on it. So I've got all the tools to do this, and I'm gonna do it. And I'm excited about it.
Leg, man.
What a story it's gonna be. So let's go. Let's go, team.
Let's go, team. Go, team.
Da 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 da.
Now he's singing.
It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G. Love yous all, guys. I love the bones yous all.
He wants to bone us all. Did you hear that? I'd love to bone you all. What's he saying? He wants to fuck us, Fred.
It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G.
Listen.
I'm not going to go there.
Love yous all, guys. I love the bones yous all.
What?
Let's go. Yous won't stop us. Yous won't beat the Irish. Yous won't beat the McMahon.
Oh, it's just sad. It's sad. I feel bad for
Dude,
him,
it's
man.
Funny, man. Dude, listen,
just,
man.
You see through it. It's so transparent.
What? He looked to me.
Don't
he
feel
looks
bad,
determined,
man.
man.
He's making so much
Who
money.
the fuck?
I know.
His next fight, he's gonna make a huge paycheck.
He just,
I mean, that's the Conor McGregor.
Huge.
That's what Conor McGregor is and has been for a while now. And you know what, man? Good for him, man. I'm happy he's making a shitload of money. And he's helping other guys making money. But there'll never be another Conor McGregor, as people like to chant.
There's only one.
He's just... Yeah, he's just his own persona, you know. Like he's the Hogan. He's whatever. He's the guy that people want to see for whatever reason.
yeah, he is the Hogan. It's a good comparison because Hogan was never actually, good. He was just famous. He was just like the guy that had a lot of personality and was, in the ring. His matches weren't actually good, and Conor's like that too. In the octagon, he's not actually good anymore. But he's a big star, and people will continue to want to see him fight. I agree with that 110%. And this now, I just want to show this. This is now an iconic MMA photo. This right here, iconic. Iconic. Will never, ever be forgotten. Joe Rogan sitting there like he's just having a chat with his old buddy Conor. Yeah, you see that? That was Conor's coach that said that. That was the quote from Conor's coach on that one. I just think it's over. I think it's over. AJ, you don't think it's over. AJ, you believe that Conor will be back in the prime? In like he'll beat.
I don't say he's going to come.
He'll beat some. Who do you think he'll beat a guy and be champion again in the UFC? You think he'll ever be a UFC champion, man. Not a BMF Conor McGregor belt bullshit Nate Diaz title, a real championship? Will he ever be ranked number 1 in the UFC division?
Look, man. The guy wants a fairy tale ending, and that's listen. He wants a fairy tale ending. Everybody wants to see that fairy tale ending, mind you, minus the swearing and all the rest that he does and all the craziness. But the truth is, if you come to see Conor, you expect Conor to say this shit and be extremely controversial, like no one's ever been before. No one comes close to Conor, and that's the thing. Will Conor come back?
Yeah, but you're not answering the 100%. Question. Conor's gonna lose his next fight against Poirier, and then he's gonna go on to probably fight Diaz, Nate. Listen, if he manages to win, maybe he gets Nick. I think those are going to be the type of fights he gets.
I think it's over.
Jake Paul.
Listen, I think no.
Yeah,
none of that
Paul
shit's going to happen
far
anymore.
Away.
Maybe Floyd. Boxing.
No, none of that's going to happen.
Floyd
not at all.
Rematch.
Yep. Manny Pacquiao.
I'm telling you, this is
dumb shit.
No, none, zero. None of that shit's going to happen anymore. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Conor's going to focus on one last fight. It's going to be that 4th fight. If it's Poirier, it could be anybody at that point. But let's say it's Poirier, which we think that's what's probably going to be. Conor's going to fight Poirier because Dana's going to make it happen. And win or lose, he's going to come out like, blaring. Whatever the shit happens, I hope nothing happens like what we just saw on Saturday.
It will.
And he will retire. And I'm telling you, Conor is done. He knows his time is done. But what he has to do is that he has to build up that hype because everybody wants to see it. Nobody saw the ending that we wanted to see for that 3rd fight. A knockout, a choke, a decision. Nobody wants to see someone's leg snap like we saw with Anderson Silva, Weidman. Like, you name it, man. There's some fighters that we saw that you just don't want to see that. Hate it, love them or hate them. You don't want to see anybody's leg snap like that. Because
Other
that
than
could
Greg
be
Hardy, man, you don't want to see that.
Yeah.
No, even for Greg Hardy, regardless, I don't want to see that. Because you know what? I want to see a fair and clean fight. That's the bottom line. And you know what? That's Conor when he does this shit. We've seen that so many times, But it's going to be the blockbuster pay-per-view of all pay-per-views if it happens next year, 2022, January, sometime in the first weeks of January, we're going to see Poirier fighting Conor again. And again, Dave, it was only like January when Conor smashed Cowboy Cerrone. And next January, we're going to see Conor again. He fights his best in January. Just telling you.
It's going to be hard to sell Conor having a shot in hell against Dustin Poirier in this.
I think Conor needs a gimme fight.
Yep.
Like they need to give somebody easy to
Nate is the fight.
No, it's not a gimme.
Well, it's
Cerrone
about as gimme.
was a gimme, I feel.
Yeah, but, I mean, what do you do with Conor? Tony Ferguson? Somebody said Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
That's tough, too.
That's dangerous.
There's no easy fights for Conor. What do you really do with Conor? Like, you bring out fucking Diego Sanchez?
No, man. Listen, you don't bring out any of those guys because Conor is coming to the end. You're going to put Conor in his last fight for the belt, and that's what he
Coming to
pretty
the
much
end.
deserves
Give
because
him a title shot.
coming to the end, you're straight to
He's
either
done.
king
Give him a title shot.
or he's done. He's either going to be pierced with the spear or he's going to be wearing the crown. 2022, January, we're going to see Conor again. Just like we saw Anderson Silva come back from that leg injury. How many months was it, Dave, when Anderson Silva came back? It was ridiculous. Mind you, he had all kinds of like steroids in him. But shit happens. But we'll see Conor. Conor will be back.
Anderson was never the same. So we're
He
clear.
was never the same, and they'll never be the same. They'll never be the same. Weidman will never be the same.
Conor
You
will
know,
never be the same.
Mirko
And
Krokop was never the same.
Conor
I
will
mean,
not
you know,
only
like,
never be the same, but his current version isn't good enough. So what's a worse
I know,
version
and
going to look like? Come on, let's
listen,
move on.
Angelo's
I'm done
telling
with
me
Conor.
why should
We're
he get
done.
it? Wait. Let me
We're
just
done.
answer. Let me answer Angelo. Because he's saying why should he get a title? It's not me to say that actually.
About
Angelo.
money.
Dana White is going to give it to him, and he said it. He will give him a fourth fight for the title
Because of bullshit.
if Poirier is around.
'Cause of
and
money.
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fred's right.
It's all
'Cause of
about
money.
the entertainment value. I'm just looking at it from the entertainment side, and that's what Dana wants, and that's what all the big shots want at the
Can
top.
I just say I'm
That's
happy
what
that we
Vegas
won't hear
wants.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman for a couple of months probably talk MMA? Because I think they only come
Oh no,
out
they will.
for
They will.
I don't
They'll
think
come
they'll
out
ever
for
come.
Actually,
Diaz,
yeah.
I guarantee
Maybe
you.
never again. I think never again. Because they only came out for
You
Conor.
think so?
Like, those jabronis didn't
I
come
don't
out
know.
for
As I
anybody
said
else.
this, I remember that Kellerman today was talking about Ngannou. So I think like maybe they realized that boxing, is not the number one fighting sport no more. So
They just gave up.
they want to jump on the bandwagon.
Listen, man, what we're not talking about is what I
Boxing
think is
analysis for
the-
an MMA fight. I don't understand that shit. Get out of here with that shit. I don't need that guy.
well, they have no choice, dude.
Not interested
have
in
no
that. But
choice.
I'm just saying I'm not interested in their analysis. Like, who cares what they say, man? Like, come on. They
Canada
spent their
just scored
lives.
a penalty
you know
against
who-
Haiti.
What are
Listen,
we what are
what?
we talking about?
Haiti,
What sport are you talking about?
Gold Cup.
what you talking
The
about,
Gold
man?
Cup, man.
Gold Cup. Gold Cup. What is that? Soccer?
Oh yeah, the Gold Cup. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it's like I'm not sure exactly
I
what
can
it is.
understand.
I think it might be like the North American countries.
Well,
Is
Canada's
Haiti in
in
North
there.
America? Not actually
Yeah,
sure.
apparently
no,
so.
that's
No.
Caribbean.
Even
Caribbean.
it is, Dave. It's actually it's
Central
it's in there.
America?
So is like Canada. It's Central America, and I think
Oh,
For real, we're in North
Salvador as
America.
well.
You're sure, AJ?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's Central America. That's why Canada's there, and that's why Qatar is there. I don't know why Qatar is in there. My little intern told me
We've
why,
been
but I
invited.
forgot. But Qatar is in there. What was that?
They've been invited.
Ah, say
man.
what?
You pay us enough, man. We'll get you in.
Yeah. So AJ still very happy about Italy winning the Euro Cup. You know, it made me
Congrats,
wonder.
AJ.
It made me wonder something. Is there another sport where England can play Italy in a final, and it's actually something people give a shit about? Like, are England and Italy good at any sports other than soccer? Like, a lot of these,
Who's
like,
the best?
Yeah,
Who's the
MMA,
best Italian
MMA?
tennis player? Who's the best Italian
What about
tennis
MMA,
player
man?
ever?
Come on, guys.
sorry, when's
Michael
the last time
Bisping?
England versus Italy had an MMA fight that meant anything?
It's gonna happen one day. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
I don't think so. It's just weird, you know.
Sakara against Bisping.
You
Did that
watch-
ever happen?
You watch like the Euro Cup or the World Cup, and it's like, you know, France versus England or France versus Italy or Spain, and it's like a big match. But I don't think any other sport you'd put those countries in a big game for anything. You know, it's only soccer. Somebody's saying volleyball,
Listen,
but like
man.
nobody gives a shit about volleyball. Is that even a
Who
sport?
watches that, man?
If you could play
It
it
is
on
a
a
sport.
beach
I love
and inside,
volleyball.
it's not a real sport.
Well, if you can have a drink in your
Beach
hand when you're
volleyball
doing it,
is
like
great.
it doesn't count.
Take it easy, Fred. I know why you like it.
I know. You know what? I agree with Freddie 100% there. I love watching beach volleyball. It's like amazing. When it comes to the Olympics, that's one of the ones I go watch. Hands
See,
down.
I never
Team
understood
USA.
just watching
And Team
women play
Australia.
volleyball because they're like somewhat attractive. Like, if you want to look at attractive
No,
women, there's a
no.
lot
They
of
won't
other
say
things to
that.
do.
We're talking. No,
That's what
Dave,
I
Trying
thought
to
that's-
understand the
that, man.
symbols they're
We're
showing
talking
behind
about-
their back.
Oh! I just don't give a shit
Like,
about volleyball.
you know, the girl that's not serving, she's always giving a symbol to a signal. A little bit like baseball, the catcher does, but in volleyball, beach volleyball, they do it behind their hand. AJ
You
knows
lost
what
me.
I mean.
All right, UFC Vegas coming up on Saturday night. It is Islam Makhachev versus Thiago Moises. Islam is a mega favorite going into this card. Bet99.com has him at minus 715, the favorite. Moises plus 480, the underdog. I'm in agreement there. I think Thiago Moises is tough. He might be difficult to put away. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so on the ground, I think Islam may have some trouble with finishing the guy, but I think that he does win. He does out-grapple him and win a probable decision. I like Islam Makhachev over 5 rounds to get the decision victory over Thiago Moises on Saturday night. I'm looking forward to it, man. I really liked Islam's last fight, that beautiful choke on Drew Dober, that shoulder pressure choke right into the
Triangle.
the neck there. It's like an arm triangle choke, but not, he didn't bunch the arm with the neck, you know what I mean? He just kind of drove his shoulder in there. I like Islam Makhachev in this one. I think Islam out-wrestles Thiago Moises. Probably outstrikes him as well. Don't forget he's got a knockout win over Gleison Tebow. I like Islam here for the win. That last choke there on Drew Dober was beautiful, the Islam Makhachev choke. And now he takes on Moises, who I think will be a little bit tougher to put away on the ground, but I think Islam has what it takes to win it on 5 rounds.
But when you look at wrestling overall, Islam has it. And when you look at defense and takedown defense, you've got Islam at 96% in the defense and only 63% approximately for Thiago. Listen, man, even if it goes down to the ground, Islam. What? You're crazy, Freddie.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Thiago because I didn't like how you guys are already crowning Islam as this incredible champion. He hasn't defeated anybody worth anything. At least Thiago has wins against Bobby Green and Michael Johnson, who are guys at least I know who they are.
You don't think Drew Dober? Drew Dober was like a strong weight? Come on, Freddie. And Dave, I must give him credit on this. He's been talking about Islam for years there, and he said it.
He's good.
He's coming up, just like we said about Cyril Gane. Listen, he's not only good, he's backed by Khabib. And there's one thing with these guys: he's going in there for one thing, to be the champion. That's all that's in his mind. Listen, by the time it's over on Saturday, it's going to be 20-1. And it's going to be the exact same thing like in his last fight. Either the guy's getting submitted or it's going to be a ref stoppage. Islam is a beast. Listen, man, I'm going with the betting odds. There's no doubt about it. Islam is the favorite, and he's going to be the one to win on this one. What? For what?
Gold Cup.
Soccer? Okay.
For what, George?
Yeah.
Hockey.
So AJ and I going with the heavy favorite here, Islam Makhachev. Freddie, just out of spite, I think.
I think so. Freddie wants to go against us.
Going with Thiago Moises. Angelo is the Super Chat leader right now. If you want to beat Angelo, you better jump in right now, or Angelo will be the leader once again, 2 nights in a row on the Ringside Report Network, killing the game. Miesha Tate returns after nearly 5 years away. She is minus 141, the favorite, coming up against Marion Renault. Renault is actually 44 years of age. Tate is 34, so Tate hasn't been fighting for a long time, but she's actually 10 years younger than Renault. This apparently is going to be Marion Renault's retirement fight. She has lost 4 in a row, but she has been fighting. I don't know. This is an interesting fight. This is a really interesting fight. It's hard to know what Miesha Tate is going to look like at this point.
But if she can't beat a 44-year-old fighter, she's not going to be in any contention. This is a must-win for Miesha Tate.
Yes.
That's how I see it.
She's the favorite. It feels like this is kind of a welcome-back fight for Miesha, kind of a setup to bring her back into the division. But we've seen these setup fights go terribly wrong before. Patrick C. Hamilton dropping the Super Chat to take the lead. Thank you, Patrick. He says, I'm very curious about Islam. I think he says him, but I think he means Islam and Miesha. I'm very curious about the 2 main events for this card as well. I wonder what Miesha Tate does on Saturday. I don't know, man. I feel like she's in tough. Marion Renault is tough. She's never been finished in the UFC. Yes, she's lost, but goddamn, Miesha Tate hasn't fought since 2016. She did have some big wins in her career, Sarah McMahon, Jessica Ai, Holly Holm, but I don't know, man. What do you think, AJ?
Misha wins.
Look,
Misha
she
by
beat
decision.
Pennington. I mean, Misha Tate, I was listening to her on the Matt Serra podcast, like, talking about like being a mother and her motherhood, and she's like breastfeeding as she's getting into this fight. Like, it was all kinds of, I don't know. She sounded confident. She's coming in here to make a statement. She's fighting a 44-year-old. Not that that's old, but the thing is that this girl hasn't been on her best streak. So, Misha Tate is coming in. It's a big name, and the UFC wants her to win. So this is, I think, a setup fight for her, in my opinion, regardless. And, yeah, I mean, I'll put her in my parlay. I'm putting Misha Tate for the win on this.
How's Marion Renault's arm bars? Because I've seen Misha lose to arm bars a couple times. You remember that? You remember Ronda Rousey and Misha Tate? Remember that shit?
Yep.
And now where's Ronda at? Ronda's pregnant.
Ronda's building houses. She's making
She's pregnant.
money. She is?
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations. Mazel tov. But listen, she's doing very well, Ronda. She's a real estate mogul.
Oh, you heard that Dana White interview too, AJ?
Yeah, I
Parroting
did.
Dana White
Dana
once
loves,
again.
Dan is on the press.
Thank you.
That was his crush. You know that.
I give you real.
I know that.
Yeah, well, we've heard. Yeah, I wonder how far that went. Actually, I've heard things recently. Yeah, about Dana and Ronda, and like people were saying, like,
you think it happened? He got his bald head stroked.
They were strong signs that pointed to it being a thing that may have happened, but I don't know. I can't comment, and I don't really care. Fred's right. Who cares?
Damn, I want to see the video.
That's gross.
But
you want to see Dana White's penis? You're that desperate to see Dana White's ass and balls? Is that what you're looking for?
Wasn't there a story of him having a sex tape or something at some point?
Yes, and AJ was like desperate to buy it. AJ's like, oh my God, there's a Dana White sex tape? I need that. I love his bald
find
head.
It, to be honest. Listen, man. I know it's out there, so if anybody has it, send it to Dave at ringsidereport.net.
No! Send it to AJ. Send it to, let's see, what's your email address?
Don't do it, Dave. Don't do it, man.
Let's see.
Don't give the.
It might be
anything crazy. Give my daddy, bro.
Anthony Jr. Dot D'Alessio at.
No, don't have to work, but. Not the work.
Are you nervous now? You nervous, AJ? I was about to give your work email out to everybody. Anthony Jr.
Don't do that shit.
Dot D'Alessio at.
All our spots.
Where does AJ work? Where does AJ work?
Angelo
Ringside
says.
Report.
Angelo takes the lead again, coming back. He's battling with Patrick tonight. Angelo takes the lead in the Super Chat battle. He says, why is Misha favored even though she hasn't fought a competitive fight in 5 years? I don't know. I guess because she's fighting Marion Renault.
She's fighting a 44-year-old.
She's fighting a 44-year-old who hasn't won in like 3.5 years. And she's lost 4 in a row. But she's lost 4 in a row to some pretty good fighters. I don't know, man. I'm going with Marion Renault. Marion Renault by decision. I think Renault pulls off the upset.
Look, you got a 9-7-1 record for Marion Renault, and you've got an 18-7-0 for Misha Tate. The difference is that Misha Tate has fought like people at the top level. She's coming in with a lot of veteran experience, and you know what? That's how it's going to go. I'm still going with Misha Tate. Mind you, she has a shorter reach. I think it's at 66-inch reach opposed to 68. But like Freddie said, it's a 44-year-old fighter that hasn't won in the last 4 fights. Misha Tate, man, is going to win this.
All right. Any other fights on this card you guys care to comment on?
Well, not really on this fight, but I'm surprised about the last fight. What I wanted to give is like some serious kudos to my favorite fighter.
Got to give it to him.
Right now, Chris Moutinho, man, fighting Sean O'Malley. This guy, Moutinho, Dave, I know you don't like him, but everything I saw.
I don't like him. It's just I don't understand what you're talking about him now.
I love this guy
Chris.
because
That's what I'll call
listen.
him.
Listen. I don't give a shit.
What are you calling
when
him?
I look at this guy?
0-3, because that's what he's going to be in the UFC before getting fired.
No, he's not, man.
3 and out.
This guy is one of. Listen, this guy is one of the most exciting fighters I've seen in a long time.
3 and out, Moutinho.
I was trying to figure out. Listen, I was
kick
trying
the
to figure
field
out,
goal, Moutinho. You're out, baby. It's over. Punt, Moutinho. 3 and out. Punt.
No. Listen,
I'm calling him the
when I
punt.
was looking at, when I
Moutinho
was
the
looking
punt.
at this guy
3 and out, baby.
This guy got 250 significant strikes thrown at him. The guy was getting peppered, and he still stood there and he kept fighting.
That's
I
not
saw him in
talent,
an interview
man.
this week.
He was
Getting
getting
hit a lot
peppered
is not-
You know
and
what?
assaulted.
I don't give a shit. I didn't give a shit.
Getting
Rick
hit a
Dean
lot
again
is not a
stopped it
skill.
again for no reason.
Uh-huh.
But I'm going to tell you who he reminds me of. If you look at this guy, he reminds me of Diaz, Sanchez, Blake Guida, and even Mayhem put in one. This guy is something that comes out to fight, and he's exciting. Win or lose, Chris Mutino got $75,000
AJ.
for performance of the night. The guy is awesome, and I hope to see him fight again. Give this guy a contract; he deserves it. Hands
We
down,
never
Chris
do our
Mutino.
bets, me
Green
and
hair.
you. So we gotta bet some bagels or whatever. I'm telling you, he's going 0-3.
Villamart.
Like I'm
Bagels.
standing by that.
0-3.
You want to bet what?
0-3.
Listen,
I'm
man.
saying,
this guy.
I'm saying he
AJ,
doesn't
bet
win a
Sean
single
O'Malley.
fight in.
Yeah.
He
Sean
loses
O'Malley-
his next 2 fights in the UFC.
No, I'm telling you, he's going to win them. Because
Bet.
if you can't knock out this
Bet,
guy, you want to
AJ.
bet
Put your
what, a dozen
bagels where your
bagels?
mouth is.
Wait. Johnny sent me a message saying that you still owe me two dozen bagels, Dave.
Do I?
I'm
I
trying
didn't bring them to you?
Yeah. No, you didn't bring them to me. 2 dozen bagels you still owe me. So
I think
I'm
I brought
putting
them
up
to you.
No, you didn't. A dozen bagels, Freddie, for Chris Mutino to be the next face where everybody wants to see on a fight. This guy was unbelievable. O'Malley couldn't
Okay.
put him away.
Shut up,
O'Malley couldn't do
AJ.
shit.
I want your
Chris
parlay for
Mutino
the
wants
fights
to
on
see him
Saturday.
fight.
I want your parlay for the fights. I'm going to give you my parlay first, all right? Usually I ask
Go
for
ahead,
your
bud.
guys' parlay first, but I'm going to do mine's first. I've got, mine's. I've got Islam, Marion. I'm going with Montserrat Ruiz for a huge dog. I think she comes through. And I like Francisco Nazareno.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 4-fight parlay, $20 on it. Go to bet99.com. Use that promo code ringside. When you do, you get a matching deposit bonus of up to $600. They will match your initial deposit to up to $600 when you use that promo code ringside over at bet99.com. So there is Team Dave parlay, Islam Makhachev, Marion Renault, Montserrat Ruiz plus 400, and Francisco Nazareno to beat Malcolm Gordon. Sorry, Malcolm, but you beat my boy James Mancini, so I can't bet on you anymore. $20 plus 15.10 is the odds. Total to win is 322. Team Dave parlay. You got to bet against Malcolm
Okay,
Gordon,
bud.
man. You can't, good guy, good
Malcolm
Canadian fighter, but he beat our buddy James. That's not cool. It's not
Listen,
nice.
Malcolm Gordon is
He
one
should
of
have
the
laid
best-
down.
I met this guy. He's awesome, man. Malcolm Gordon was awesome.
I know. Yeah. I
Who's
like
up
him.
next,
I
Freddie,
like
or
him.
you want me to go?
I just think he's gonna lose the fight on Saturday. You can go
Listen,
if you're
man,
ready.
this guy fights well. Yeah, you want me to go or Freddie? You want to go?
Go, HA.
I'm easy,
Okay, so-
man. So I got Misha Tate and Moises. Moise.
That's it.
Misha and Moises.
Yep.
Misha and Moises connection. $20. That's Team Freddy. Misha and Moises. Right there. You see that? You see it? There you go. Plus
Listen,
$891. $20. $198.36. Pretty good. Team Freddy. Misha and Moises. Parlay. Freddy going against me on the main events here. Freddy, I got Marion and Islam. You got Tiago and Misha. ¿Qué pasa? For AJ?
Damn it. Listen, first of all, I want to apologize to everybody.
No,
with
first of
the
all,
Ryan
could
Hall.
you just fucking give me your parlay? I mean, sometimes
Listen,
we win,
I'm gonna-
sometimes we
listen.
lose. I
Yeah,
broke
but Ryan
even
Hall
on
was
Saturday.
a bad loss.
Yeah,
That was
well,
a
I
bad
lost
loss,
with
dude.
Ryan Hall, but I made it back on Dustin Poirier. So you win some, you lose some. And
Okay, here we go.
Dreykus.
So
I had my man Duplessis, right? I had Dreykus, Sean O'Malley, and Dustin
Duplessis.
Poirier parlay. That one was good. What do you got for
yeah,
me?
that was a good one.
Dreykus.
So listen to this. So I'm going with Islam on this. I'm going with Misha Tate. I'm going to go with
Islam.
Gamrot.
Misha.
Then I'm going to go with the
Gamrot.
Black Belt Hunter. The Black Belt Hunter, Vieira, hands down. And I'm even going to go with the submission on that. And then I will end it with Billy as a win for that night.
Billy Quarantillo.
But
So
he's
that's
very good, this guy, man.
many fights on this parlay. There's AJ's parlay for you. Islam Makhachev, Misha Tate, Mateus Gamrot, Rodolfo Vieira, at minus 223, and Billy Quarantillo at plus 135. $20 gets you 193.96, which I think is the exact same payout as Fred's parlay somehow.
What?
It was close.
891. My odd was 891.
Oh, okay. His are 869, but pretty damn close. So there you
Pretty
go.
close.
Those are the parlays from the Ringside Report team for this coming Saturday night UFC Vegas 31. Makhachev versus Moises. And that's it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate you. Angelo is the Super Chat leader of the night. Thank you, Angelo. Thank you, Patrick.
Greece wins.
Nice back and forth. Angelo, Patrick, nice Super Chat battle. We appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Go to join.ringsidereport.net to subscribe. You could also click the join button right beneath me here on the YouTube channel. You can go to donate.ringsidereport.net. And don't forget, if you're booking your trip to Vegas, go to vegas.ringsidereport.net to book with us. Vegas.ringsidereport.net. Book a trip to Vegas with vegas.ringsidereport.net. And also, if you're looking for the most powerful Surface laptop with the best graphics and gaming experience, you can buy now and get a free update to Windows 11 at surface.ringsidereport.net. Get yourself a Surface laptop and help out the Ringside Report Network at surface.ringsidereport.net. If you got to buy some stuff, buy it through the Ringside Report sponsors because that's how we survive and live and eat. And AJ buys those cool hats that he wears and his very fancy shirts that say jiu-jitsu on them. His fake Supreme
And
shirts
your
that say
shoes.
jiu-jitsu.
Don't forget your Yeezy, man. I just get like, mid-range stuff. You get like the big stuff because you are the boss of the show. And Freddie, man, Freddie's getting his Skittles.
Freddie's got so much candy.
I'm making my own T-shirt.
What is?
Oh, Fred's making his own shirt.
What is that? Why'd you make me one, Freddie? Come on. That is cool.
Freddie
looks
Originals.
like Connor. That looks like Connor right there on the on that little scooter.
Get some of our merch over at merch.ringsidereport.net. Merch.ringsidereport.net for all of our cool stuff. That's it. Follow us on all the things. Follow me at Dave Simon MMA. Follow Ringside Report at Ringside Report on Twitter and Instagram. You can go to ringsidereport.net as well. I'll be back here tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. After Smackdown, they're out of the Thunderdome. The WWE's finally back in front of a real live crowd. They're going to be in Houston, Texas tomorrow night, 10 p.m. right after Smackdown. We will break down the action. WWE Money in the Bank is this coming Sunday in front of a real live crowd. No more bullshit. No more Thunderdome. The people are going to let Vince and company how they feel, and we will let them know how we feel as well right here on the Ringside Report Network. See you tomorrow night at 10 p.m. for some wrestling shit.